Every woman follows rules she'll never admit to. Rules that decide if she sees you as a friend, a fling, or the man she can't stop thinking about. Most men go through life blind to this reality. They think attraction is random, that it's about luck, or that women just like who they like. But the truth is, attraction is guided by silent laws. Laws she feels but never speaks. And the men who understand these rules, they win without chasing. They become unforgettable without even trying. The men who ignore them, they're stuck wondering why she ghosted, why she lost interest, or why she says, "You're such a nice guy," before walking away. That's why you need to pay close attention. Because once you see the game for what it really is, you can stop wasting time guessing and start moving with clarity. This isn't about manipulation. It's about awareness. It's about finally understanding the unspoken psychology women follow every single day. Here's the part no one tells you. Women will never openly admit these rules exist. They'll say, "Just be yourself." They'll tell you, "I don't care about first impressions." But watch what they do, not what they say. Because deep down, her behavior always follows the silent script. And that script decides whether she sees you as a man she can't resist or one she'll forget tomorrow. So here's my challenge for you. Because once you understand these rules, you'll see attraction in a way you never have before. You'll know exactly what she's looking for, even when she swears she's not looking at all. And when you know the game, you don't just play it, you control it. By the end of this video, you'll see the truth. Women may never admit these rules out loud, but every decision they make is guided by them. And once you learn how to move in alignment with these rules, you'll stop being the guy who tries too hard and start being the man she silently respects, desires, and chooses above everyone else. Let's start with the very first law she follows, whether she admits it or not: the rule of first impressions. The rule of first impressions is brutal because it happens instantly. Within seconds of meeting you, a woman decides whether you're a man she should take seriously or just another face she'll forget. You don't even have time to explain yourself. Before you speak, she's already scanning your body language, your energy, and the way you carry yourself. That's how fast her psychology works. Here's the harsh reality. Women don't fall for what you say first. They fall for how you show up. Your presence always speaks louder than your words. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who didn't say much, but you felt their confidence the moment they walked in? That's presence. Now compare it to the guy who overcompensates, talking too much, laughing too loudly, trying too hard to impress. He thinks he's winning her over, but in reality, he's screaming insecurity. Women pick up on this faster than you realize. She doesn't need an hour-long conversation to know if she feels drawn to you. She only needs seconds. That's why so many men fail before they even start. They try to convince her with words when she's already decided based on energy. Here's the secret. First impressions aren't about being perfect. They're about being grounded. A relaxed posture, steady eye contact, and calm confidence communicate more than any line ever could. When you show her that you're comfortable in your own skin, she instantly feels more comfortable around you. But if you fidget, force jokes, or seek her approval, you signal the opposite. And once that signal is sent, it's almost impossible to erase. Think of it like this. Imagine a king walking into his court. He doesn't need to shout to prove he's in charge. His presence commands respect before he says a word. That's the energy women respond to. Not noise, not overcompensation, but calm certainty. So ask yourself, when she first lays eyes on you, what story does your presence tell? Does it tell her you're the man in control? Or does it tell her you're desperate for validation? Because in those first moments, she's already decided which role you play. Remember this: attraction doesn't start with what you say. It starts with who you are before you even open your mouth. That's the silent law of first impressions. And once you master it, you'll never need to chase her. She'll already feel the pull. The rule of mystery is one of the most powerful forces in attraction, yet it's the one most men destroy without even realizing it. You've been told your whole life that honesty is the key, that sharing everything about yourself builds connection. But here's the raw truth: oversharing kills attraction. Women don't crave certainty, they crave curiosity. It's the unanswered questions about you that make her think about you when you're not around. Think about it. When you watch a great movie, what keeps you glued to the screen? It's the suspense, the mystery, the not knowing what happens next. Now imagine if the movie spoiled its ending in the first 5 minutes. Of course not. That's exactly what happens when you unload your whole life story on a woman too soon. She might smile politely, she might even listen, but inside she's already filed you as predictable, and predictable never pulls her in. Here's the truth: attraction thrives in the unknown. When she doesn't fully know what you're about, her mind fills in the blanks. She wonders where you're going, what you're thinking, who you're spending time with. That wondering is what makes her curious. That curiosity is what makes her check her phone, think about you late at night, and crave your presence even more. Mystery doesn't mean being secretive or playing games. It means controlled disclosure. You reveal pieces of yourself over time, not all at once. Instead of dumping your entire past on the table, you let stories come out naturally. Instead of explaining your every move, you leave gaps that let her imagination do the work. Here's a simple example. She asks, "What are you doing this weekend?" Most men would give her a detailed itinerary, but a man who understands mystery might simply say, "I've got something planned I'm looking forward to." That answer tells her nothing, but it makes her wonder everything. That's how you keep her intrigued. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The secret of all victory lies in the organization of the non-obvious." Mystery is the non-obvious. It's not about lying. It's about letting her earn the right to know more about you. Because when she has to work for your story, she values it more. So remember this: attraction dies in certainty. It thrives in curiosity. Don't hand her the whole book in one night. Give her a chapter at a time and let her imagination beg for the next page. That's the rule of mystery. The rule of confidence is the foundation of attraction. Without it, nothing else matters. You can have looks, money, or charm, but if you lack confidence, she won't feel that spark. Why? Because confidence signals strength, stability, and leadership. And deep down, women are drawn to men who carry themselves like they don't need approval to exist. Here's the part most men get wrong. They think confidence is about being loud, arrogant, or trying to dominate the room. But real confidence is quiet. It's in the way you walk, the way you hold eye contact, the way you stay calm when others are losing their cool. Quiet self-assurance is magnetic. Arrogance repels. Women know the difference instantly. She might flirt with the arrogant guy for a laugh, but she'll respect and desire the man whose confidence is steady, not showy. That's why confidence isn't built on words. It's built on presence. A confident man doesn't need to explain why he's valuable. He shows it by the way he carries himself. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Women constantly test for confidence, but they'll never admit it. The sarcastic joke, the small delay in replying, the subtle challenge in conversation, those aren't random. They're pressure tests. She's watching to see if you'll break. Will you get defensive? Will you beg for reassurance? Or will you stay grounded and unshaken? Every time you pass these silent tests, her respect for you grows. Every time you fail them, it fades. Imagine this. You're out with her and she says, half joking, "You're not really my type." Most men panic. They try to prove themselves, but the confident man simply smiles, shrugs, and says, "Good thing I'm not trying to be your type." That one response shows more strength than 1,000 words of pleading. Remember this: confidence doesn't mean you never feel doubt. It means you move forward despite it. Leonidas didn't lead 300 men against an empire because he had no fear. He led because he had unshakable conviction in the face of fear. That's confidence. Women don't expect you to be perfect. They expect you to be steady. So ask yourself, when she tests you, do you fold or do you stand firm? Because confidence isn't just attractive, it's the baseline of respect. And without respect, there is no attraction. That's the rule of confidence. The rule of boundaries is the test every man faces, but few recognize. Women silently measure how much you respect yourself by watching how you handle your limits. They'll never say it out loud, but every time you bend, every time you sacrifice your standards just to please her, her respect for you shrinks. Because if you don't respect your own boundaries, why should she? Here's the harsh truth. Attraction isn't about how much you give. It's about how much you refuse to give away. Women want to know if you're a man who values his time, his energy, and his standards, or if you're a man who lets others walk all over him. The word no is one of the most attractive things you can say. Not because it makes you difficult, but because it proves you have value. Think of it like this. If a king says yes to every request, his crown means nothing. But if he chooses wisely, his decisions carry weight. The same applies to you. A man who says yes to everything is not generous. He's desperate. A man who says no when it matters shows discipline, self-respect, and strength. Imagine this scenario. She asks you to cancel plans with your friends to see her at the last minute. Most men would fold instantly, thinking it proves they care. But what does it really prove? That your life revolves around her. That you're willing to throw away commitments just for her attention. And the moment she senses that, she loses respect. Now picture the man who calmly says, "I already made plans. I'll see you tomorrow." No anger, no guilt, just firm boundaries. That man earns her respect because he shows that his world doesn't collapse just to win her approval. Boundaries aren't walls to keep her out. They're structures that show her how to treat you. When you enforce them calmly and consistently, you amplify attraction. Because women are drawn to men who value themselves enough to protect their time, energy, and priorities. Remember this: a man without boundaries becomes her toy. A man with boundaries becomes her standard. And once you establish yourself as the standard, you stop chasing her respect and start commanding it. That's the rule of boundaries. The rule of scarcity is simple but brutal. What's too available loses value. Women are no different. When you make yourself constantly available, replying instantly, canceling plans, orbiting her every move, you don't make her feel special. You make yourself predictable. And predictability kills desire. Think about human nature. We crave what we don't have. The rarest gems are the most valuable. The most exclusive experiences are the ones people fight to access. Scarcity creates craving. And the same psychology applies to you. When you're always around, always texting, always eager, you eliminate the space she needs to actually miss you. Desire doesn't grow in abundance. It grows in absence. Picture this. You text her good morning, check in during the day, and send another message before bed. On the surface, it looks like effort. But what does she feel? She feels smothered. There's no tension, no curiosity, no space for her imagination to wander. Now flip the script. Imagine you stop sending constant updates. You give her space. You focus on your own life, your passions, your mission. Suddenly, she notices your silence. She wonders where you are, what you're doing, and why you're not chasing. That wondering is what makes her crave your presence. Scarcity doesn't mean ghosting her or playing childish games. It means balance. It means showing her that your time is valuable and that you don't hand it out like loose change. Sometimes you say, "I'm busy." Sometimes you let the phone stay silent. Not to punish her, but to remind her that your attention must be earned, not assumed. Look at history. Kings didn't hold court every hour of the day. They created scarcity. Their presence was rare, and that rarity amplified their value. You must do the same. The man who's everywhere is invisible. The man who's selective becomes unforgettable. Remember this. If she never has the chance to miss you, she never will. Give her that chance. Let distance create the craving. Because when your presence feels rare, your value skyrockets. That's the rule of scarcity. The rule of social proof is the silent magnet of attraction. Women don't just watch you, they watch how the world responds to you. Without even realizing it, they're scanning for signals. Do other people respect you? Do other women want your attention? Are you a man who carries value in the eyes of others, or are you invisible in every room you enter? This is subconscious psychology, but it's powerful. A man who moves through the world with the quiet approval of others doesn't need to brag. His value is confirmed by his environment. That's why you'll see women suddenly notice a guy who seemed average. Until they see other women laugh at his jokes, other men respect his presence, or a group naturally gravitates toward him. That's social proof in action. Here's the mistake most men make. They think social proof means boasting about popularity, flaunting followers, or exaggerating stories. But bragging destroys authenticity. Real social proof is subtle. It shows up in how you carry yourself, how others react to you, and the effortless way people enjoy being in your presence. Imagine this scenario. You're out with friends. You're relaxed, laughing, engaging naturally. Others are leaning in, enjoying the energy you bring. Without you saying a word, she notices. She sees how others respond to you, and it shifts how she perceives you. Suddenly, you're not just another man. You're the man who has already been validated by the group. That validation multiplies attraction. Why? Because women are wired to value what others value. It's not manipulation. It's survival instinct. If others see you as worthy, her psychology interprets that as proof that you carry strength, status, or something rare. The key is subtlety. You don't need to announce your value. Let it show naturally. Share stories casually that reveal your life, not to impress but to express. Surround yourself with quality people. Be the man others genuinely enjoy being around. Social proof will take care of itself. Remember this: attraction isn't built in isolation. It's amplified by perception. And when she sees that others respect you, she doesn't need you to tell her you're valuable. She feels it. That's the rule of social proof. The rule of emotional control separates men who are respected from men who are dismissed. Every woman watches closely how you handle yourself under pressure. Because here's the truth. Emotional stability signals strength. Overreact, and she instantly questions your ability to lead, protect, and stay grounded when life gets tough. Stay composed, and her respect for you deepens silently. Women test this constantly. They'll joke, they'll push buttons, they'll throw small challenges your way, not out of cruelty, but to see if you can handle yourself. If a small tease makes you angry, if a sarcastic remark makes you defensive, if her mood swings pull you into chaos, you've failed the test. Because what she's really asking is, can I trust this man when the real storms hit? Think about it. If you explode over a late text, how will you handle financial stress, family problems, or real-world adversity? She knows the answer, and that's why emotional control is non-negotiable. Here's what most men miss. Control doesn't mean suppressing emotions. It means mastering them. You can feel anger, frustration, or disappointment, but you choose how to express it. A calm response under pressure speaks louder than 1,000 words about strength. Imagine this. She teases you in front of friends. You're terrible at dancing. Most men would get flustered, defend themselves, or sulk, but the man with control just smiles, maybe even pulls her onto the dance floor and proves he doesn't take himself too seriously. That one moment tells her everything. He's unshaken. He's solid. He's safe to lean on. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength that's emotional control." Women admire men who carry storms inside but project calm outside. They may never say it, but they respect it deeply. Remember this: attraction fades when you lose control. It intensifies when you master it. A man who can stay composed under pressure becomes rare, and rarity creates value. Be that man. That's the rule of emotional control. The rule of direction is what separates men she respects from men she entertains. Because here's the truth. Women don't fall for men who have it all. They fall for men who are going somewhere. Ambition and purpose matter more than money, looks, or status in the moment. Why? Because a man with direction creates security. He shows her that no matter where he is today, he's moving towards something bigger tomorrow. That movement is what she trusts. It's what makes her feel safe aligning herself with you. A man without direction might be good-looking. He might even have money. But if he's drifting with no purpose, no vision, and no fire inside, she'll sense it instantly. And once she senses it, she knows she can't fully rely on him. Women want to feel like they're with a man who's building something, even if he hasn't built it yet. Think about history's greatest leaders. Many weren't born rich. Many weren't born powerful. What made them magnetic was their conviction in where they were headed. Alexander wasn't admired because he inherited land. He was admired because he marched forward with relentless vision, and people wanted to follow. Here's the trap most men fall into. They mistake direction for talking. They think if they explain their dreams in long speeches, it proves their purpose. But over-explaining weakens the effect. A man with true direction doesn't need to convince anyone. He shows it in small ways. His discipline, his focus, the way he refuses to waste his time. That's how you communicate vision without words. For example, she asks what you've been up to. The average man says, "Nothing much." The man with direction says, "Working on a project I'm excited about." No need to oversell it. That simple line tells her you have a focus bigger than her, and that's attractive. Remember this, women don't expect you to be at the finish line. They just need to feel that you're running the race with purpose. Because when you move with direction, she sees a future. Without it, you're just standing still. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who doesn't know where he's going. That's the rule of direction. The rule of challenge is the reason women stay interested long term. Here's the reality. Women don't want men they can completely predict or control. They might say they want ease, comfort, and stability, but deep down, attraction thrives in tension. And tension only exists when there's some level of challenge. When a woman feels she can control every piece of you, she loses desire. She might like you, she might even keep you around, but the fire dies. Why? Because predictable men don't inspire craving. Think of it like this. If a game has no difficulty, it's boring. If a prize has no cost, it's worthless. The same psychology applies to you. A man who offers no challenge becomes background noise. A man who balances kindness with firmness becomes unforgettable. Challenge doesn't mean playing mind games or being cold. It means not folding just to please her. It means being kind without being a pushover. It means holding your standards while still giving her warmth. That balance is what keeps her engaged. Imagine this. She says, "You should cancel the gym tonight and come watch this show with me." The average man folds instantly, desperate to please. But the man who understands challenge smiles and says, "I'll be there after I finish my workout." He's not rejecting her. He's reminding her that his priorities matter. That tiny resistance is a challenge, and it deepens her respect. Challenge also shows up in unpredictability. Not chaos, but surprise. If she knows your every move, she'll get bored. But if sometimes you're available, sometimes you're busy, sometimes you plan a date she didn't expect, sometimes you simply focus on your mission, she never fully knows what's coming. That uncertainty keeps her invested. Women don't consciously admit this, but they're wired to chase men who don't give themselves away too easily. If you're too predictable, she controls the dynamic. If you're too resistant, she gives up. But if you balance kindness with challenge, you hit the sweet spot where attraction thrives. Remember this: the flame of desire doesn't survive in comfort alone. It survives in tension. Be the man who gives her warmth, but also makes her work for your full attention. That's the rule of challenge. Self-mastery means you don't just chase women, you chase progress. You don't just live for her approval, you live by your own code. When a woman sees that, she feels something rare. Respect comes from mastery. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be." Be one that's the essence of self-mastery. Don't tell her you're disciplined, show her. Don't promise her growth, live it. Self-mastery doesn't mean perfection. It means progress. It means choosing the gym over laziness, focus over distraction, purpose over comfort. It means showing up as a man who leads himself before trying to lead anyone else. And here's the hidden truth. Once you master yourself, attraction becomes effortless. You don't need to manipulate. You don't need to chase. Women are naturally drawn to men who radiate control, direction, and confidence because so few exist. Ask yourself this: are you the man who needs fixing, or are you the man who's already building? Because women don't want to be your savior. They want to be inspired by your strength. And when you embody self-mastery, you become that man. So here's the closing truth. Every woman follows rules she'll never admit. Rules that decide if she sees you as a friend, a fling, or the man she can't stop thinking about. Now you know them. The rule of first impressions, the rule of mystery, the rule of confidence, the rule of boundaries, the rule of scarcity, the rule of social proof, the rule of emotional control, the rule of direction, the rule of challenge, and finally, the rule of self-mastery. Win the game. She never admits she's playing by following the rules she'll never say out loud. That's how you stop chasing women and start becoming the man women chase. This video was great, but this video on the right-hand side is even more helpful.